everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Afternoon Drive Home on IC. It's in Christ Radio, IC, or it can also stand for ice cream when you're hot outside. But it's not hot in here. It's really, really nice. And we're at Creekside, and this is the year 2022. We're really excited to be here. This is my first time. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundance TV, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. You can also go to the website and find all of the shows that are listed in this great station. We appreciate you listening to us. I know you could be doing anything else right now, but you're watching us, and we definitely appreciate that. A lot of awesome guests we've had on the show this week since we have been here, and I'm really excited about the guest that I have with me right now. This is Joe and Sandy Matthews, and I just love the word Rhapsody. Mm-hmm. And so Rhapsody Praise. So why this name, Rhapsody Praise?
Rhapsody is an exuberant expression of an emotion, and praise is the rent that we owe to God. And that's what we strive to do.
Well, so we were talking last night. So we've turned into friends. So I've met a lot of your friends out here. We're going to be doing a lot of interviews together. And your story on how you got started, and you were going through a situation with depression. So let's talk about that just for a few minutes.
Actually, I lost my first husband. He's actually how we met. My first husband was a minister, and he got sick and passed away almost 5 years ago. And then I lost his mom 10 days later. And I didn't know what I was going to do. And Joe was there. And he was the strength that I needed to refocus and remember that God is there, and that He has a purpose in everything. And the rest is history.
Well, sometimes we'll be going down the road a certain way, and then we get stopped, we get jolted. Things happen, and it kind of changes our focus, but it always changes it for the best.
Yeah.
The good things happen out of what you said about that.
Yeah, that's like when we first got together. We were riding down the road together doing ministry, and I was singing with a country song on the radio. She comes in with the harmony. I said, what?
A beautiful thing happened, right?
I said, that's the voice I've been looking for. And then the rest is history. 4 years later, we're doing concerts across the country.
Let's talk about your music. What kind of sound do you have?
It's a Christian country, and we've been told that we sound a lot like the Carpenters, a lot like
Johnny
Cash, and of course our writer, who is Sean Klein. And I don't know, we've got this awesome harmony that people are like, where did that come from? We've not heard that before. So God just put us together.
Do you mind if I step away just for a second and let you guys sing a song? Do you want to do it? Can you do it without microphones? Or do you mind singing something?
We can do it.
I want to hear this. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Just look around and see all the good things God has given me in my life. If I started today thanking for the blessing, I'd just get started if I prayed day and night. I want to thank God for the blessings given me. For everyone He gives, I'm so unworthy. From the food I get to eat, to the shoes on my feet, I want to thank God for the blessing given me.
Oh, that's beautiful. I like that. So I can say what people are saying. I heard a little Johnny Cash in there. That was good. So, and I love family harmony. There's just nothing better, because family harmony really don't have to have musical instruments.
No, you don't.
You just kind of get in there and make it happen. what do you want to say to some of the folks who are they're thinking about getting into music, and they sound really good in the shower, or they sound really good when they're sitting around the dinner table after they've eaten? How do you get started? How do you know if it's the right thing to do?
Well, we are told by the Bible to make a joyful noise unto the Lord. If you're just praising God, that's what He's commanded us to do, is to praise Him. Whether you take it out on the road, I hadn't planned on doing this as a ministry. I was happy to be hidden behind my piano and playing the piano at church. I did not ever expect to be a lead singer of anything. But God has His other plans.
And they're better than our plans.
Oh yeah. And they surprise you every day.
Every day. That's like I'm an ordained ministry. For 5 years, I heard this voice in my ear saying, "You're going to preach." I said, "Oh no. And I fought it for 5 years. Finally, I said, "Okay, I give in."
So what does God say? Thank you.
Yeah.
We're glad you finally saw it. Right, because sometimes we think we know more than God. I've done that several times.
So now I do sermons, and I preached at some churches, filling in for other pastors. We preach a little bit with our ministry.
And how long have you been in music?
I did country for 18 years. And I did the bar scenes and everything. I come in drunk one night and tripped walking in the door. I said, something's got to give. It was February the 28th, 1987. Got up the next day, the alcohol was gone. I was still here, so I decided I guess that's what God wanted. And from there on, I went to God's to change from country to gospel. But I still do the Christian country, so there's a little bit of country sound there. And so that's where I started.
I love the country sound. We go to Cowboy Church in Alabama, and we have a lot of country singers who come, and they're gospel singers as well. Is there really? I'm really not seeing the difference between Southern gospel, really myself.
It's actually the tone of the music, the instruments that are in the music. Like the country has the fiddle, the steel guitar.
All the things I like.
Yeah. And then your others has the bass, the piano, drums and stuff.
And it's also the topic of the songs. Joan was explaining this to us the other day. Gospel music is Bible-based or scripture-based music. And Christian country is like music that's about real life. And so it's with a Christian focus. So like the song that we just broke out on our new album that we just sang for the showcase today is They Tell Me. And it talks about all the things that we've been told as we're trying to do this ministry. You'll never have a number one. You'll never see your name in lights.
Yeah, but who's saying that?
Other people.
I don't listen to other people.
But it goes, so I'll never see my name in lights. No one will ever know who I am. But today, God saved a life. So it's our focus isn't on what we're doing. It's on what God's doing through what we're doing. Because we are just mere vessels of what God's got in plan for us. And when you allow yourself to be His vessel, miracles happen.
There's always that number one we're always looking for. If we save just one life out of a country we've done God's work.
If He reaches one person.
Yep.
And you're as stressed. You're having fun with what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Because it used to be very stressful.
That's what I wanted you to talk about too, because a lot of folks say, "Well, I could never do anything like that because I can't get up in front of crowds. I
used to be what they call an introvert." And I was telling him this morning, I said, "Baby, I just can't deal with all this stuff." because it wears me out to be extroverted and be an outgoing person. I gotta come back and get some rest. I can't do this. But when I'm doing what God has called me to do, I don't realize it until I'm so spent at the end of the night. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's bedtime.
It's a full day.
Yeah. So when I'm doing what He's called me to do,
Because if you're not doing what He's called to do, you're a slave to
yes,
everything else. And you can. And I was talking about that with another guest just a few minutes ago. You can be a wealthy slave.
mm-hmm.
I mean, you're just doing stuff for the sake of doing it,
Yeah.
and it's not fulfilling your life at all.
And somebody told me one time when I was trying to figure out what kind of work I wanted to do, if you don't like, if you aren't happy to go to work, if you're not enjoying your job, find something you enjoy and do it instead. So if you're not finding joy in your life and in your daily work, find something that you do enjoy, because you're probably not in the right place anyway. And when you're doing what God has called you to do, He uses every gift that He puts in your repertoire.
Well, that's when your gifts start shining.
Yeah, exactly. Because like when we started doing this music thing, there's tablecloths to be made for stuff to do for promotion. Well, I love to do graphic design and art, and I make my earrings. And, it's like everything that I enjoy doing, I get to do as part of the ministry. And I turn the world's trash into treasure.
Now, what are those? We got to talk about this just for a minute, because I can't quit looking at these earrings. They're beautiful. And so, what are they made of?
They are actually made out of a recycled Monster drink can.
Sounds like me. I think I've got something going on.
Yeah, you've got some. They're little.
Not what I made.
No.
I usually have something on I made, so I notice art. But you're right, it's art. I mean, this is literally art.
Can you see that?
And it's something beautiful.
It's literally what people throw away. But think of all the work that goes into the artwork on a can. And the world just throws it away when they're done drinking what's inside of it. Well, that's what God does with us. The world's done with us, they throw us out on the trash heap. But God comes along and He picks us up, He cleans us off, He says, I can do something wonderful with this, if it'll let me.
If it may.
So if we submit to Him and allow Him to create us into something beautiful, He can make some really pretty things out of the world's trash.
Let's talk to people who feel like they've just been thrown away.
Mm-hmm.
They've been thrown away. They've been used by something like your can there. It has been used. So let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
About making something beautiful out of your life.
Well,
let's say you've made some mistakes.
Well, I'm a survivor of generational abuse, and I felt like I was thrown away. And when I realized that God still had a plan for my life, that He was still in control, and I submitted my life to Him, that's when everything changed. Because I grew up in a Christian home. I went to Christian school. I went to church 3 times a week, and sometimes anytime the doors were open.
You're the poster child.
Yeah. But when I went to my pastor, when all of this stuff was going on when I was a child, he looked at me and said, "You're lying, and you know it." And I felt at that time that God had thrown me away. And I lost purpose in life. I didn't know. I went into you could call it a depression, because life didn't matter to me. I was just making it through. I was looking for a way. And
if you're looking for a way out, you want to include God in the decision.
well, because I felt that God had thrown me away. Because the leader of the church had told me that I was lying and that what was going on did not matter to them. They did not believe what I had to say. It wasn't until My first husband, who was a minister, told me, he said, you know what? God loves you, and because God loves you, I love you, and I'm not willing to let you stay the way you are. And God's not willing to let us stay the way we are either. That's why He'll pick us up off that trash heap, and He'll work with us. He might set us on the shelf for a little while, but when we're ready, He'll come back and He'll create a masterpiece.
With the perfect timing too.
Just like a piece of clay that the potter puts on his wheel and just shapes it the way he wants it.
And sometimes He has to work with it and form it and put it through those hard times. But if we let God have His way and submit to Him, even those hard times are a lot easier when we know that God's got a plan.
You feel like it's like stubbornness sometimes that causes it not to happen as fast as it could.
Oh, I know it is. I know it is. But when we take ourselves out of the picture and just say, okay, God, whatever you want. I lay myself down at the cross, and I'm not going to pick it back up because I know that you've got a plan for me. And you leave those burdens there when you get up and walk back down the aisle. God will use you in ways that you never expected.
It'd be more beautiful you could have never dreamed.
Absolutely. And I actually wrote a song that talks about that and talks about the detours of life. How we make plans, but God says, no, that's not the way I want it to be. But yes, your desires, I understand what your dreams and your desires are, but not that way. Let's take this turn here, and let's take this turn here. And His path is always better than yours.
You know, a lot of things happen that turn into depression. And we've talked about that with almost every guest I've talked to today. And what form of depression, and a lot of it is what we put in our ears. We let go from ear to ear. And television, watching the programs, watching the news all the time. I mean, all those things can play into how we make decisions about things.
And that's like as we cut the news off 2 years ago. We go to YouTube, listen to gospel videos or other groups singing, and
or inspirational, like Steve Harvey is one of our favorite go-to inspirational speakers. It's incredible.
You're choosing what
Yeah,
goes in your mouth.
exactly. We're picking up what we want to listen to off of that conveyor belt instead of having it pumped into our brain all the time.
Yeah, because I'm watching people walk around as if they're in a trance, as if they're zombies. Especially putting the wrong
Because they're
things
like
in
this
their
all
mouth.
the time.
Oh, I don't know how many people I've seen almost like
I
running
love
out
to
the
walk
street.
into somebody. I see people walking with their cell phone. I catch them off guard. I'll stick my hand up where they'll walk into mine. I said, "Aren't you glad it won't walk?"
It's almost like a fly hitting a windshield.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost that same deal.
And think about it, 20 years ago, we didn't have cell phones. How do we get along?
I think we got along just fine. I have a Bluetooth, and I've often thought about my grandparents. And because my granddad, I was working in the corporate world, my granddad, he was constantly saying, "You're working too hard, you're going to die early. You're going to wind up with a heart attack." You know, he would say that constantly. This is back before I had this little Bluetooth. I talk with Phil, I'm driving down the road or whatever, you know, and I wondered what my granddad would think. If he could see me driving up, talking to Phil, with no phone to my hand at all, just walking around with a Bluetooth.
What are you doing? Talking to yourself again?
Honey,
You've gone crazy again.
he would. But you know, they lived a simpler life, but they were pretty happy.
Yeah. And no, we didn't have to know every move everybody was making. We learned to trust each other.
Here's what my granddad would say about Facebook. He would say, "I love you, but I don't care that you went to Walmart today."
I don't need your every move on Facebook.
That's what he would be saying to me right now. Rhapsody Praise. I want to give you the contact information. We've still got some more talking we're going to do, but I want you to take this telephone number down if you would like for them to come to your special event. Area code 864-426-3661. That's area code 864-426-3661. And if you'd like to check their website out, you'll find some great information there as well. RhapsodyPraise.com. That's simple.
Yeah.
RhapsodyPraise.com.
And it's RHAPSODY.
Absolutely.
We also have our CDs on there for sale. We have T-shirts on there for sale.
Yeah, all kinds of great, wonderful things happening. Absolutely. So let's dig just a little bit more. So before you got into music, then you were planning on being a nurse.
I am a nurse, but the way I became a nurse was a little bit roundabout too. I had gone straight from high school into nursing. Well, I had headed straight into nursing school. I was a rising senior in the nursing program. I failed a class. 75% of the class failed with me because the teacher just read the book. And they weren't offering it the next semester. I didn't have it. I couldn't continue without that class in the program. And so I transferred, and none of my nursing credits transferred with me. So about 6 months later is when I met my first husband and took that path back into finding God and finding that He loved me. And I finally graduated in 2008 as a straight A nursing student. And, I've taken a little bit of winding road, learning different things, but there was one thing that I did during my nursing internship, and that was working at the health department. And I said, one day I'd like to do this. Well, 14 years later, God let me have that job in January, and now I'm doing exactly what I have always dreamed of doing. And I'm like, thank you, God, because you know what? Exactly. It's like everything that I have ever dreamed of doing, when I started letting God have control, He knew what my desires were better than I did.
Are you in the midst of writing another song right now?
No, we actually just finished writing the song, and it's on our new project. It's called "When Others See Me, Do They See Jesus?" And that one's on the project that will be released hopefully November the 15th. And there are some other songs in my head, but I haven't gotten them fleshed out yet. So
sometimes I've heard a lot of songwriters say, "Well, I had that song written 10 years ago, and I don't know, I just wrote it and I put it in a book somewhere, and then I just got it back out again, and now we're actually singing it." So
Detours took me about 6 years to finally write. I started it when I was turning 40, and I'll be 47 next month.
Let's talk about Detours.
Okay.
So how did that song get started?
Well, I was looking back over my life and at all the plans that I had made, and how God, as I was like I could see that nursing degree. I knew I was almost there, and it's like, nope, this way. Like, but God, I want this way. And He leads me through some different paths and shows me things that I never would have experienced, and prepared me for what I'm doing now. Whereas if I kept going down the road that I wanted to go on, I wouldn't have learned about this other part of life over here that I now deal with on a daily basis. And He prepares you for things, and you're like, but God, why can't I do it now? Because you're not ready for it now. Trust me. It ain't time for you to be there yet. But if that's what you want, And if that's what your desires are, and if that's what I want for you, He'll bring you back to it.
Well, God's timing is a lot different than my timing.
Mm.
Because if I do something like right now,
I want it yesterday.
Instant potatoes, instant McDonald's, instant everything, I'm going to make a mess out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know what I'm doing.
No.
You know, I've got to have some experiences for it to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's things in life that unless you've experienced them, you really can't help people that are going through that. And He uses every experience that we've gone through to help us reach other people. Like, I didn't want to go through what I went through growing up, but when I tell that part of my story, I connect with people out there that I probably would not have connected with had I not told that part of my story. But other people are out there hurting too. And when people know that if she can do it, then maybe I can do it too.
Absolutely. Because you feel like you're all alone when you're in a situation. It doesn't matter what the
And that's what the
situation
devil
is.
wants you to feel.
You're the only person.
The devil wants you to think that you are the only
You're
one going
the
through that.
right.
Exactly. But God's right there, and if you believe in Jesus and you allow Him to have control of your life, He's always right there. God says He has you in the palm of His hand. He's not going to let His own fall out of His hand.
And what freedom is that?
And one of the songs that helped me get through my life, that trial period of my life, was a song that Cassie Krause sings, and Just Be Held. It's like you're a squirming child, and as long as you're fighting, yeah, you're being held by the Father, but you're still fighting and you can't rest. Just rest and let Him carry you. And when I learned that was the most
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's like God's got me, regardless of what we're going through. He's not going to let me fall. And then I can go out there with confidence and sing, because I know He's not going to let us fail.
That's true. It's just a beautiful thing, but it's hard to let go. Now, I'm telling you, that's what
It is hard, but it's the most peaceful thing when you learn to just let go and let God.
Being embarrassed about a situation. You know, you don't know what people are perceiving. What will people think? Did you ever go through that?
All the
What
time.
are people going to think?
Somebody we talked to a while back when we first started doing this, one of the pieces of advice he said is, what other people think of you is none of your business.
Steve Harvey said that too.
Steve Harvey says that too.
That's
said-
healthy.
Yeah.
He said, what other people say about you has nothing to do with you. Your name is not on it. Move on.
And we'll say that going down the road sometimes. It's like, I wonder what my name ain't on it. I ain't gonna worry about it.
I'm going to start using that. I love that. We went through a situation in our family, and so Dad was a minister. My parents got a divorce. It was a big scandal. It was just, it was horrible. And I remember going through this, and I'm questioning God about it. I said, why are you letting this happen? I mean, I'm talking to God like I'm talking to you. Why is this happening? I don't understand. It's the whole embarrassment, the scandal, the whole works. I want to go live under a rock somewhere. Then later, a friend of mine, her dad was a minister, they went through the same thing. So she walked up to me and she said, you're the only person who's going to understand. And I had heard, but I don't listen to rumors either.
Mm-hmm.
Because rumors, that's what they are. It's rumors.
Yeah, rumors.
And so I let her tell me. And she told me what was happening. And I said, okay, God said, this is what. So I can know. She feels like she can get comfort somewhere because I went through it. She said, how did you make it? I said, I still haven't made it.
There's a song that we sing. It's called
Less than a minute.
Do it.
Listen to
Okay.
it. Time flies.
There's a song that we sing, and it's on our current album. It's called When I Don't Understand. And it was our last single to radio. Check it out. because it addresses exactly that. What
Okay,
you
real quick, how can they find your music?
RhapsodyPraise.com, YouTube, Facebook, anywhere that you can download music, we're there.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for being on the show today.
Well, we enjoyed
You
it.
never have time. I mean, time just flies
Yeah.
when you're having fun. Absolutely. Thank you. I know you could be doing anything else, but you were watching us on Afternoon Drive Home.